What's going on, everyone? We're back for another express edition of the Bleed Los podcast, Carne Asada. We have so much to get into, but we're going to do it in a little bit of time tonight. We have had an offensive explosion the last few nights. There have been big roster moves that the Dodgers have made, and it's all happening on the brink of Kershaw's return. All that and more coming up next. What's going on, everyone? I am Drea, joined tonight by Anthony. What's up, Anthony? And producer Roger. How are you guys? What's going on? How are you after we just had a 19-2 win last night?
Yeah, we're doing good. Happy to be back. Happy to go to the game a few days ago. It feels like we were the good luck charm. We were all there a couple days ago, so happy to see the offense finally clicking.
Yeah, it was a blast. We got to meet up. All of us took our photos together and we met up on Star Wars night, which is always a fun time at Dodger Stadium. Saw a lot of great things, a lot of great costumes. And so it's just been a fun week. And I really feel like we've turned a corner. They're flexing their muscles now. So it's going to be a lot of fun as we welcome tonight. We're welcoming the Angels in town. So much has happened though. So we kind of want to recap a little bit about the A's series, and we're going to get into just what we can expect to see, hopefully from Shohei and all of our guys in the near future. But what were your takeaways from the A series? I know that we got kind of creamed a little bit on that first night, but then things turned around. So what do you think was the big catalyst that changed everything?
I don't know if these boys rallied around on the unfortunate news of Barnes getting DFA'd. Maybe it's just they kind of knew it was going to happen the night before because the day they lost, the news came out the following day that he was going to be cut from the team. So I don't know if there was just an awkward tension in the clubhouse, something was looming. Something dark was looming because they didn't know what was going to happen, but maybe they just rallied behind them and they're like, it's us against them basically. But fortunately, it's part of the baseball world that sometimes our favorite guys just have to move on, whether it's via trade or just in this case released.
Yeah, I know. I was a little shocked. You broke the news to me, Anthony. I was at work and I saw your text and I almost had to read it like 2 or 3 times because I'm like, no, they wouldn't. I guess I just had it in my head, like so many Dodger fans, that would never happen. They're not going to do it. And then on top of the timing of it, just thinking that Kershaw's going to return, which is like another huge news this week. Kershaw's going to start tomorrow on Saturday, and I've always associated them together. So I don't know. What do you think of the timing? Is it more like just they really wanted to get Dalton Rushing up and really get him some time to get him acclimated? Because we're seeing some really great things with the team, and we're starting to see some gelling the last couple of nights. So I mean, I just question, why now? Why not next week or the week after at the trade deadline?
Or at the start of the season. If we knew this was going to happen, why not just pull that bandit off right away? The only thing that I had is they wanted to see how Rushing was probably going to start the season off in AAA, and his numbers are undeniable when he was down there. So maybe if he started off the season pretty rough in AAA, they would have held off on this move. But he's kind of proven that he can do it up there, so why not give him an opportunity to prove it up here. Unfortunately, with Barnes, it just came down to a numbers thing with him. But wish him all the best. Hope I've been reading that he won't be out of work that long. That there's a lot of teams out there that can use a good veteran like him around, especially a bunch of young players if their roster's very young. So hopefully he'll land on his feet very soon.
We're just real quick on Dalton. I mean, like Anthony was saying, for the last year and a half, there's been talk, he should come up, and it was definitely time. I mean, the odd thing is, right, is because he's a catcher, and that's kind of his position. They said that's his position. He's not really going to play outfield. Dave Roberts did mention he might see some time at first base in a radio interview. I believe it's today. He said that he might see some time at first base. If it's a game where they can get Freddie out of the game early, they're winning up big. Game like last night, put Dalton in at first base for a couple innings. So that's going to be the key, I think, is kind of giving him some time, because if you give him the Austin Barnes playing time, he was doing maybe once a week, twice a week. That's not, that's probably something you don't really want to see Dalton Rushing kind of in that role. So I think, they're going to look for at bats for him and kind of figure out a way. But as of now, they said probably not in the outfield. So we'll just have to wait. But it's definitely, it's tough to see Barnes go. I mean, he was the captain of this team. The team considered him the captain. Maybe I know there's a lot of fans saying, "Oh, DFA for a long time," but to this team, Austin Barnes meant a lot. As a leader to the. It's definitely he's gonna be missed in that clubhouse.
100%. I mean, he actually is one of the Dodgers I have met, and I have to say, he was so gracious, so kind, and so you could just tell, like, when someone is really a genuine human being, you can feel it. So we wish absolutely nothing but the best. It's going to be hard seeing him in a new uniform, but he has given us some really good moments in Dodger history, and so we wish obviously nothing but the best for Austin Barnes wherever you go. You're always a Dodger in our hearts. But yeah, Rushing, he was batting 308 in AAA, 5 home runs. And if you look at last night, he had the hardest hit ball last night at 110 miles per hour off the bat. So you were looking at a guy that he looked very ready to be here. So I do hope to see him more and more, because I just love the way they were setting the table for Shohei and the big guns to come up. But we look like we also got very lucky this week. We're seeing Kim really flex his muscle. He does not look like he has any fear in the show. And now that we're a little bit more into his at-bats, what do you think about him? Talk to me about, like, what is standing out to you about this kid, because I am so impressed.
What impresses me, he's very steady and confident in himself, whether that's on the base paths, whether he's batting. He looks very comfortable. We were there to see his first major league homer. And it didn't look like it was going to be a wall scraper. It cleared the fence pretty significantly, and that was the thing coming out of spring training. Can he hit major league pitching? And he's proving, at least right now, small sample size, that he can hit major league pitching. For me, it's another one of those where you can't. I don't see a way to send him right back down to AAA. He's kind of proven, earned that he deserves to be up here. It's going to come down to another numbers crunch, and it's going to come down to another decision on who you want to get rid of. Unfortunately, this is guys' livelihoods, and I hate phrasing it like that, but so it's coming down to the last 2 guys on the bench, whether it's Miguel Rojas or Chris Taylor, unfortunately. So it's another one of those where you can't justify sending him right back down to AAA. If he would have struggled initially and continued to struggle, then yeah, you probably would have sent him right back down. But he's kind of proving that we need him out there. So it's kind of hard to just take that opportunity away from him.
No, he's got some vibes on him too. It's like you can see that he injects some sort of life into not that they need it anymore. They're obviously all get along and they rally behind each other. But there's something about him that brings a spark to the team, and you can see it when you have the footage. So I love watching.
I think it's just that the youth, they see him hungry, they see how he's on the base pass, he's speedy, he's aggressive. That I think all injects life into his team. They see ways he's come out, hitting, and that to me is the most impressive thing, because if you saw him in spring training, he was struggling, he was really struggling, but that's why they sent him down, right? And he went down, he worked on stuff, he got rid of his leg kick. Now he's hitting. I mean, he's hitting over 400 right now. Limited sample size, 28 at bats. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think he would be hitting, up in obviously in the 400s, right? You would think, okay, eventually they're going to adjust him, and he'll probably go back down. If you hit 250, 260, you take it right with the speed and everything. But now, I mean, is he a 300 hitter, right? Can he keep it up and hit over 300 and be one of those guys that hits for average? Remains to be seen. Like we said, limited sample size, but right now everything he's doing is right. It's helping his team with the speed, the time he hits, the energy that he's bringing. It's exciting, and you just want to continue to see it. Like we said, there's going to be a numbers crunch probably as soon as Monday. And right now I don't see a way that they would send him down. So we'll continue to see what happens over the next couple of days.
Well, no, I'm with you on that because, like you said, has had 28 at bats and he's batting 429. That's incredible to come out and make your debut and really show that it wasn't just, a 1 or 2 game thing. He's been really showing consistently that he's not afraid to steal bases. He's got 3 stolen bases, 5 RBIs, and he sets the table perfectly for Shohei, who had 6 RBIs last night. 6.
Yeah.
And it looks like with the right lineup and the right configuration, that's what was kind of throwing me off. It's like Shohei has some great numbers, but he had such low RBIs. And what was happening is the bottom of the lineup wasn't really on base for him. And when you see the last 2 nights what happened, you can just really see that we're finally the team that everyone said we were going to be, even though we were showing flashes of it. I really see that it's getting exciting now. And so I'm really, really happy. And we're missing 2 of our big players, which, like we were alluding to, we're about to see them come back in addition to Kershaw tomorrow. So it's looking like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Teo and Edman are on the brink, with Edman coming back first. Is that right?
Sunday is expected to come back Sunday.
Okay. So Sunday he's coming back, and then Teo's going to be with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes tomorrow, right? So, okay.
So if you're Rancho, nearby Rancho, you can go check him out tomorrow night. He'll be playing with the Quakes on the rehab.
That's so exciting. Yeah, definitely.
And if all goes well, expectation is he'd be back on Monday.
Well, that is exciting. So yes, definitely check that out for those of you who like to go check out the Quakes. That is a treat to see some Teo. I mean, we're just so excited to have this team that I can already see forming. And this is exactly what I was excited for. But that does bring up a point we were just making. Who do they send down? Because the way I see it is, if you're not afraid to DFA Barnes, you're not afraid to DFA anyone, right? I mean, and I didn't think, personally, when I think about the Miguel Rojas, Chris Taylor, I love them both, but I'm thinking that it might more likely would be Taylor. I don't know, Anthony, how you feel about that, because I'm thinking of the positional versatility and the backup shortstop that Rojas can provide behind Mookie. Should Mookie needs a little bit of rest? I don't know. Do you think it's more like one or the other? Obviously, Outman would probably go down to AAA again.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a tight crunch here.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be Chris Taylor. I feel like his time is very, very much numbered at this point. But like the front office has proven, the moment they came in, they weren't afraid to trade away quote unquote fan favorites. I don't know if you remember the D Gordon trade back like years and years ago. He was a fan favorite, supposed to be the second baseman of the future, and we traded him away. So the front office, they're loyal to their guys, but if they see that the production is falling off, they're not going to stay loyal to you. Basically, they're going to find ways to improve the roster, even if that means that we love you, but it's better for us in the long term if we find someone else a better solution. So, unfortunately, I think it's Chris Taylor's. It's his time to be called up, and I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. He was basically a utility player when we first brought him up those years back. He was traded for Zach Lee. Zach Lee was supposed to be one of our top prospects back then, and no one really had any expectations for Chris Taylor. It was just going to be some guy probably on the bench, whether he produced or not. And I mean, if you say Chris Taylor to Dodger fans, they can probably list off a bunch of like memories, whether it's the World Series home run to lead it off in 2017, the catch against Milwaukee. So you have like a laundry list of like just great moments and memories. So I hope like fans remember the great moments and memories and not the past year or two where he's like, you could see he's tailed off a little bit. So I unfortunately think it's Chris Taylor who's going to be the one who ends up getting cut here.
Yeah, no.
Something interesting I heard, as I believe David Vassay mentioned it, as they've kind of seen Taylor with a knee brace on. So, something could be where Chris Taylor hits the IL, and it buys him some time. So, but I do think maybe the move revolve around Chris Taylor, whether it's IL or DFA. But everything Anthony was saying is correct. I mean,
true.
Chris, either if he got DFA'd, and Chris Taylor is another one of those guys that you remember. There's so many big that he had on this team, right? Another one walk off in the wild card game against the Cardinals. Right? He gets that home run. and especially the catches against the Brewers. So, definitely, he came in, and I think he excelled and did a lot more than people expected when they first traded for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that you guys make some great points, but at the same time, they weren't, I mean, as close as I saw Kershaw and Barnes to everyone, they weren't afraid to trade AJ Ellis. And that was a person that was also close to Kershaw. And you think of all it's Kershaw's 18th year, right? That he's going to, come back for. Imagine all the teams that he has seen and all the ups and downs and the trades and the DFAs. I mean, he's a professional. When they asked him about it yesterday, and he knows that it is a business at the end of the day, as much as we get attached. But I think that overall, you got to look back at what they promised Shohei. They said they would put the best product on the field for him, and they are holding true to that. So the front office doesn't mess around. I think they definitely care about their players, but they really have to make sure that they are in the light of very tough NL division. Look at the NL, like to break away and win that division, win the NL pennant. We're really going to have to kind of, flex our muscles completely. And, unfortunately it's going to come with some cuts and some trades. And so we'll see how that goes. But we are now looking forward to, we haven't even talked about Shohei. He had 2 home runs last night, and I know we're going to kind of get into wrapping this up, but Shohei looks amazing. He is at the top of the home runs. He's kind of showing some numbers to be on track for 55 home runs this season, so even better than last year. Shohei doing Shohei things. It is incredible. We all were there when we heard the Shohei home run and the crack of the bat. And you texted me, Anthony. I was like, that sound is like the best in the world, right? So that's just very exciting. So what are your quick predictions for the Angels series the next 3 days?
Real quick on Shohei.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it again on his bobblehead night, and he had 2 home runs on his bobblehead night. So, again, he has this flair for the dramatics, those big moments. Kind of, it's his bobblehead night. He goes out, hits 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and you guys caught the end when he struck out to the position player, the backup catcher for the A's.
Yeah.
If you see that video, it's really kind of funny because he was throwing the ball, and as he threw the ball, he stepped back and kind of run back. And he said he was terrified that Shohei was going to hit a ball back straight at him. He's like, it'd kill me. If it come right back at me, it would kill me. So I thought that was pretty funny. And after the game, some of the Dodgers players, they were having fun with that moment too. Obviously, you don't expect Shohei to get struck out by a backup catcher, right? They threw out the ball. He kept it. He has it. Shohei strikeout. He kept that. Muncy was telling us a funny story saying that I guess Miguel Rojas then took his bat, kind of like, watch, let me go show you how it's done, and he got a base hit right after. So little cool things like that come out of those moments. It's always cool to hear.
Yeah, no, I would keep the ball too if I struck out Shohei, and I would tell my grandkids and great grandkids, and I would never stop telling that story. That's incredible. But yeah, we are in the Shohei's former team is in the house. Roger, you're there. You can see that he's at Dodger Stadium. And I hope get footage if you can of the opening pitch tonight, because it's actually my mom's boss that's throwing out the first pitch. It's Firefighter Appreciation Night. So thank you to all of our firefighters. If you're watching, we really do appreciate everything you do for the community. And so we know that Dodger Stadium is going to make you feel really at home tonight. And everyone associated with all the fire departments in Southern California, you are true heroes. But what are your predictions?
I think it's going to be the same as the A series. I think the Dodgers are going to jump on the Angels. I think they take all 3. I don't see the Angels. I know the Angels just came back from playing a series against San Diego, and they won one on a grand slam in the 9th. So, but they also gave up a game-winning home run to Fernando Tatis Jr. So, I really don't expect much from the Angels. I think the Dodgers are going to come out and kind of prove who they are the past couple of days and just continue this momentum going. So, I'm thinking a clean sweep for the Dodgers.
Ooh, I'll take it. Roger?
Yeah, I'm with Anthony. I'm going to go sweep. The Angels have struggled. They started off pretty good at the start of the season, but they've kind of hit a tailspin after that. Trout's out. So, it's kind of it's the same old Angels. I mean, they might put a little bit of fight here and there, but I think in the end, I think the Dodgers will go ahead and win this series.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this one. I hate to jinx anything and say sweet, but I really am feeling like the Dodgers are really showing what they're about, and I just feel like they're finding their vibes together, and they're really they're syncing well. So I'm excited for the Angel series. I know that's going to be a fun weekend at Dodger Stadium. So we're going to follow it up next week, or I think right after that with the Diamondbacks coming to town. So we'll have a lot to talk about next week and kind of see after we see more of our players come back. It's going to be a definitely exciting few nights in Dodger baseball. So we get to have some excitement, just like Mookie on the mound when he was when Shohei was walked in front of him, and he showed some Mookie power, and I love that. So you're really seeing our guys fight, and I love that. So that's going to be just fun to watch and see how they really come together. So if there's anything else you guys have, I'm pretty much finished for tonight.
No, I got nothing else. I think we hit it all. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully a good Kershaw day tomorrow.
Yeah, Kershaw back tomorrow on that route to 3,000 Ks. So it should be a fun series. Be great to have Kershaw back out there tomorrow and see what he does.
Can't wait to hear his song. It's so classic on the mound. Every day that Kershaw pitches, we just have to sit back and enjoy it because he is just a Dodgers legend. But that is going to do it for us for this episode of the Bleed Lows podcast. Make sure to check out DodgersBeat.com for all the latest back, of the stadium interviews, contests, merch, and you name it, it's all there. Roger, you do an amazing job with all of our reporters to make sure that everything is covered. So we have pre-game, we have post-game pressers, you name it, it's all there. So make sure to check out DodgersBeat.com. Our handles are underneath our name, so make sure to check us out in all of our Dodger adventures. Don't forget we have some really great series coming up, and then as we head into May and June, we've got some of the big boys coming to town too, who we played in the playoffs. So all good stuff coming up in the very near future. Thank you for joining us on this express edition of the Bleed Lows podcast. So until next time, go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.